we're just going to come into Complete Angler in the bay here today, and we're just going to have a look at the plastics range that they've got. Beautiful shop front here, beautiful face to greet you when you walk through the door. Here's Stocksy, the man. He'll always help you out when you come in here. Let's go and have a look at his range. So he's got all these lines and stuff down here, but what we're after is plastics, which is in the middle here. Alright, so here's the Gulp. These are my favourites. Great range of plastics in this shop. If you ever need anything, he's going to have it. Definitely all the good stuff. You got your squidgies, your bait junkies, your Z-mans. We'll just pull a few plastics down and I'll go through some colours and shapes and sizes with you guys. Yeah, I'll get them down and put them on a bench. So I've just picked out a few of the plastics that I like. All Gulps, as you can see, for my snapper fishing. Different sizes, different colours, all used at different depths, all for different purposes. These larger ones, we've got the Nuclear Chicken Grub in a 6-inch, 15 centimetre. Really good plastics for deep water fishing, you know, that 50, 60, 70 metres. Usually on a bit bigger jig head, maybe in 1 ounce to 2 ounce, depending on the conditions. I'd pair them up with a size 3 heavy. Got a 3/8 jig head here. You could go heavier than that, but definitely no lighter. You want that sinking action, and that bigger plastic, you'll definitely be targeting bigger fish. We've got a 6.5-inch Nemesis here in Opening Night. Just that purple colour really comes through in deep water. Also, I forgot to mention these Nuclear Chickens are glow in the dark, so they will really light up down in deep depths and in dirty water. They'll stand out and fish will find them, no problems. All these Gulps come in a scent, so they're all scented, ready to go. You've seen on the show before these Tiger Limes, they're really good. They're some of my favourite ones to use. These ones here are actually a little bit lighter than some of the ones I've got, which I think work better. This slightly lighter colour definitely works better than the darker green. I'll probably buy these before I walk out of this shop today. We've got a pumpkin seed in a swim mullet. Also works really well in the fat grub and also in the minnow shape. Minnow shape's probably my favourite shape. It doesn't have as much action. You don't have the wriggle of the tail, but you also don't have little fish biting that tail off, which pretty much ruins the plastic with some of these other shapes. Nemesis is a really good shape, really heaps of good action in the water. They flutter down nicely, that tail wriggles away, and fish just can't help themselves, but you got to keep them moving. Don't let them sit still too long, because little fish will just take the tail straight off them. I'd pair all 3 of these up with a 1/4 ounce in a 1/0 hook size, all heavies. You know, you don't want to go too light for snappers. You'll end up losing so many fish if you have a light hook. They'll just bend your hooks out. Over here we've got a turtleback worm in blue pepper neon. Really good colour, this one. Same thing, deep water colour. These blues and purples and indigos will show up really well in deep water. Also got a glow factor in them ones there. I haven't actually used these ones, this shape. Used plenty in this colour, and the colour works really well. And here I've got a 5-inch Nemesis in a pilchard colour. Same thing, it's got the blue in it. Blues and purples and indigos show up really well in deep water. I'd use this one in a slightly deeper water, you know, that 30 to 40 metre mark. You could pair it up with a 1/4 ounce 2/0 hook. These TT jig heads are my favourites to use. They work really well, hold on to the Gulps really well. Yeah, that's what I would be going to. So they're the colours that I like. This is definitely my favourite shape, this minnow, 100mm minnow. Pretty much my go-to. First plastic on every fish, and very rarely do I change from that. Usually if I'm changing from the minnow to something else, my next step would be to the Nemesis. Watermelon pearl, great colour. I think that's probably my favourite colour, definitely in clear water. And if you're going to fish on the surface, any of those surface fish will eat these colours. You want to stick to your natural colours around the surface, and start mixing it up with some of your glow-in-the-darks and brighter colours if you're going to fish deeper water. I'll just get a few other plastics out, give you a quick look at them. Also got the power baits over here.
Yeah, the new range of the power baits Flaky, and got these new fellas here. They're going to be like really good for the freshwater, but good on flatties, maybe Jews as well.
Quite a chunky soft bait, them ones.
Yeah.
What are you going to rig them up on, Stocksy, you reckon?
Oh, well, on the back there you can see you can do a bit of a weedless hookup, but you can use a regular jig head as well. But yeah, it's quite a unique one. And you've got a few of the exotics like the old Eco Gear prawn and the grass minnows. They're always sort of wanted. Then you get your plazos. You know, your plazo prawns, the 4-prong prawns, very popular on the flathead here.
As you can see, there's quite a range of plastics, so when you come into a shop, it can be quite daunting of what you're actually going to buy. Hopefully after this video, you won't be quite as overwhelmed. Squid jigs there, good range. These are the go. This is the colour you want. Got my favourite squid jig here, green and orange number from Yamachi. Got the power bait here in pumpkin seed with scales. It's just got a little bit of flash that comes off those lures. Hopefully you can see the shine there. That just sort of comes off in the water as you're fishing them. Really good plastic, good for flathead, good for in the rivers. One of my go-tos. If I was coming here and I was actually pick 3 plastics that I would buy straight off the shelf, first pick would be Tiger Lime in the 100mm minnow. Second pick would be the Nemesis in Watermelon Pearl in a 4-inch. And third pick, I would go the Nuclear Chicken, probably in the 6-inch fat grub, just to mix it up, just so you have a few different sizes in your plastics, cover a few different depths, and yeah, different shapes, different actions. If I was going to fish these fat grubs in a deeper sort of water, I would pair them with, I've got a 1.5 ounce 7.0, that's probably a little bit big. There's a 6.0 hook. That size hook, a 6.0 hook fits really well in them. A 6.0 or a 5.0. There's a 5.0 hook in a 3/8. That would go really well in the 6-inch fat grub. And also a 5.0 in a 1/2 ounce. Can go bigger, like I said. Don't be afraid to go ounce or 2 ounces, but just don't go too big a hook. Like that 7.0 hook there, it's not too heavy a jig head, but the hook would be a bit large for these plastics. So you can see, if I lay them out next to it, that hook's going to come out pretty much where the tail begins. So these 3/4 in this 6.0 here, it's an Element 82. I've never used these jig heads, but that would go really well with the 6-inch fat grub Nuclear Chicken that I've got in my hand. Come and see Stocksy, he'll help you out. He'll put you in the right direction with whatever you need. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like I said, it is a bit daunting, but check out the colours that I've spoken about today. And I definitely like the gulps the best for my snapper fishing. All these other plastics will work, of course. Like, I'm not saying they don't work, but generally they're unscented, so you've got to apply scent to them as you're fishing them, whereas if you pull the gulp out, it's scented, ready to go. You don't have to keep reapplying scent.